Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Raid, the GamerAccess.com's PC gaming podcast. I'm your host, Bronson Fiore, joined by the amazing Anthony Ta.
Good evening, or good morning, or good day. I'll just say good day.
Whenever the sleep schedules here are messed. And then, the intern, 001, Ray Johannesen.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Dr. Nick. I'm
filling in for Nick Canlis.
I'm very tired.
We're very tired.
So lots of stuff in PC gaming has happened over the past week. But we'll talk about. But I want to get to that after we talk about Ray. You have purchased a computing device.
I have. We officially have it up and running.
Yeah, after having to reseat the RAM 4 fucking times.
That bitch wouldn't stay down.
So
it was like a Rocky fight.
So Anthony and I, mostly Anthony, worked on your PC about a week and a half ago. But Anthony doesn't know how to do liquid cooling, and I didn't want to take the risk. I was reading online, I was like, I don't.
It's very simple, actually.
Yeah,
Besides getting that gunk off the back, we probably could have done everything here.
Yeah, we didn't have rubbing alcohol to get that gunk off it's thermal paste.
Yeah, or the glue. Square.
We could have borrowed thermal paste from Anthony.
Sure.
To be fair. But so today was the adventure of having to take off the top of the case to put in the radiator.
Mm-hmm.
Because that case is fully, you take off the top, you can take off either side, you can take off the front.
Toolless?
Yeah, it's all toolless except for, having to install parts, which, But
even then, though, the only tools you really needed was to bolt the motherboard in and some various attachments, that's it.
Oh, we definitely needed a...
Let me put it this way, it's a darn sight more toolless than my case, I'll say that much.
Oh, for sure. Oh, definitely more so than my old one. But we got it up and running, and then we took it home, and I installed OpenOffice, Steam, Battle.net.
Windows 10.
I installed Windows 10.
Which looks really pretty.
Windows 10 seems rad. It has encouraged me to install it on my laptop.
Yeah, you're just so jealous of all the tech that you've just been seeing today. You're just like, I need it.
Well, it's the thing with Windows 10 is I heard about the performance boost you get that Matt told me about. I was like, fuck, that's kind of worth it.
I don't know about performance boost because so far Windows 10 to me just looks like Windows 8.1 with a redesigned interface in a good way, but I'm not exactly seeing what the big deal is because even DirectX 12 games aren't supporting it quite yet. Yeah. So at the moment it's like 8.1 with a good interface.
But I'm gonna have to upgrade anyway, and I'm just like, well, fuck it.
It's about time.
I'm still on Windows 7, and one thing that I noticed, I was reading up on upgrading for an Alienware, and I was like, and it seems mostly simple, except for the fact that if certain drivers are out of date, it'll cause some screw ups in the installation. I was like, all right, that's weird. And I went to update all my drivers, and in the process, I fucked up my my Ethernet port driver. So right now, the Ethernet port on my laptop doesn't work. Which, I mean, if I were to pick a part of this thing this has to not work for long periods of time, that'd probably be it. Because I don't remember the last time I hooked this thing up via Ethernet to anything. So, but yeah, it has been an experience.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Windows 10 is... Man, I can't tell. For some people like myself, if you know what you're doing, upgrading Windows 10 is really easy. Freaking everything works still. That's fantastic. Because I'm trying it on my laptop first because my laptop is the quote-unquote lowest risk computer. Because I'm not going to put this on my desktop and risk screwing it over. So I'm trying it out on my laptop and things are working out well. But then there are things like my dad's computer. He tried to upgrade it to Windows 10, and it completely ruined, and it screwed up his registry. And that's like a nightmare. Thankfully, he was able to somehow use System Restore to put his computer back to 7, which I think is the only time System Restore has ever worked. And then he installed Windows 10 using the ISO DVD that I burned, and turns out his downloaded installation probably was corrupted because the DVD actually got his computer up to 10 just fine.
So, out of curiosity, do you have an external hard drive I could borrow?
Borrow?
Or not borrow, but load all my crap onto, and then do this?
Don't know. Gonna have to look around.
Okay, because, like, I just want to mainly save my pictures and my music.
I mean... yeah, I got to think. I have a really crude solution.
Alright.
So, Seagate at one point made portable hard drives with this attachment, so you can, switch your portable hard drive from USB 3.0 to FireWire and that kind of stuff. I noticed at the back of this plug, you can plug it into any bare hard drive. So I could take a bare laptop drive, plug this attachment in, and voila, you've got a USB portable drive, even though it's bare exposed.
That's great. I just need, like, I think I need, my music is about 10 gigs.
You'll be fine with USB 3.0. It'll transfer quickly.
Yeah, okay. Because I've been thinking about doing this. Like, I did all the fucking prep work. I updated my BIOS to 9.0 and did all this other shit. And I want to pull the trigger, but I'm like, fuck. If this fucks up,
I'd say wait a bit longer.
Out of here.
Because here's the thing, right now, the way I see it is, there's really no immediate need to go to Windows 10. If you're on Windows 8, yeah, by all means, go to Windows 10, because you're freaking get a better interface, and that in itself is kind of worth it. But if you're like on Windows 7 and it runs perfectly fine, I don't really see a need for it, because, like, why would you really need Windows 10? Cortana? Well, in the case, Cortana wants to freaking know where I am, even though I don't see what's the point, because I'm freaking in my house. I don't need... I already know every restaurant around here, and I could just type my address in if I need directions. Or I use my phone. But yeah, Cortana just wants to know everything about me, which, okay. She wants to know everything about everyone. Okay.
And this is how Terminator happened.
Yeah, this is
fucking Skynet.
The Skynet joke's been going on forever, so...
Oh god, hello, Mr. Tom.
What I do love is Windows Workplace. Like, because what it is you can have, like, different desktop screens as its own window, which is kind of like a dual screen effect without having a dual screen. And to me, that's freaking fantastic, because I can have one screen be all my internet work and one screen being all my media work, and that's freaking fantastic, because I can't dual screen my desk as it is. Unless it's my laptop to the monitor. Some weird quirks, I can't shut off OneDrive for some reason. And Microsoft insists that you have to have a Microsoft account to fully utilize everything.
So, I, like... Oh man, I really want to pull the trigger on one hand, but like I'm kind of just waiting it out.
I think you should wait it out.
I don't know.
Because,
I can just use,
again, there's really no need to go to Windows 10, because it's like what's the biggest reason why you want to go to Windows 10? DirectX 12 will make things magical. Well, there aren't any games that support DirectX 12 yet. I mean, like The Witcher will, but The Witcher hasn't yet. So what else is there? Cortana? Well. Let's just say I would rather use Google or Siri at the moment, because Cortana, I'm just like, I don't really need this.
First, let me answer Ray's thing. Like, you were not awake for me installing Windows 10. It was quick as far as installing an OS goes.
Yeah. But
that shit still took 2.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
That shit was like... And then, like, we had a memory problem because on the drive over, the fucking RAM got unseated in your computer.
Yeah, we're guessing at least.
At least that's what we're guessing. Either that or you have fucking a problem with your RAM, which...
A bad RAM. Out of 32 gigs.
Out of 32 gigs, one of those 8 gig sticks is bad. So, we'll trial and error, we'll figure out which one it is, I guess. Oh no, turns out Windows 10 is like Windows Vista where there are memory leaks. Just fucking your RAM just goes bad all the time. That'd be fucking terrible and hilarious.
I don't know, because I know a lot of people with it, so I mean, it's not like it's like a new, like, I know it's like a new thing, but it's not like no one's using it.
Like, we were talking with Matt over at Moondog, and he's been really high on it. Like, he noticed a noticeable performance boost, and like he really likes the interface and whatnot. So
the interface, I can give it the thumbs up. Performance boost, well, let's just say that, like, on like let's say I have a computer that ran Vista, was upgraded to 7, was upgraded to 10, and it boots in about the same amount of time as 7, so I don't see the performance boost there. If you have an SSD, you're not going to see anything there. What I do know is that if you go from like Windows 7 to Windows 8, you just wiped out 10 gigabytes of crud off the operating system, which I think is a nice plus. Because that means less hard drive bloat. That's something I've noticed going from 7 to 10 on a relatively clean computer.
That's actually sounds kind of nice on my end, because, like, did they get rid of that problem that 7 has, where Windows 7 for me just constantly feels the need to back itself up? So, like,
my computer never tells me that, because like, I just shut off that warning.
No, like mine, like on Windows 7, what'll happen is, like, I'll go to my, like, my computer, and I'll be like, you have 130 gigs left, and I'm like, where the fuck did 200 gigs go? Where did it disappear to? And I'm like, oh right, shadow storage. My fucking OS is backing itself up. This is dumb. I need to go delete all those shadow copies.
I don't think your operating system, I don't think your version of operating system has like shadow copies, because that's like Windows 7 Professional and up. And you have like Home Edition, because that's weird. It could be System Restore for all I know.
Hold on.
Like, you know, shut it off.
I actually just did. I copied down my CD key. No, oh yeah, it's Home Premium. So.
It could be System Restore.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
But yeah,
the Windows 10 is. It works, and it's free, and you can't really complain against free. And granted, to me, it's already a step up from 8.1. So, like, 8.1 is okay. You just have to get used to the fact that it's a really appified Windows 7, which is not really entirely a good thing. So they put back the start menu, which is great, but in addition, they also put some 8.1 bits where you have that tile button thing. So if you have frequently used programs, you can put a tile button there, so all you do is open the start menu, hit the tile button, and bam, your program's right there, and I think that's really neat.
I think that actually looked really cool when I was looking at it on Ray's. Like, I'm going to toy around with it tonight when I'm installing shit on Ray's computer when he's at work. Yeah, like...
again, if you, like, I think if you have a relatively clean install of 7, so you don't have, like, many programs on it, and you don't have much stuff on your system, going to 10, yeah, that's pretty low risk. If you have, like, everything on the computer, all your files, all your games, all your music, all your resumes and documents and whatever is on it, probably should wait, because just imagine what happens if Windows 10 F's up the installation.
Yeah, let's fuck up my computer royally.
That's why I'm like, just hang on to 7 for now until you back everything up, then we might give 10 a try.
Yeah, okay,
because like I said, I've seen people, I've seen literally a computer in my house have a screwed up registry after installing 10, and that's like a red flag nightmare right there.
Yeah, no, knowing my luck, that's exactly what would happen. But the good thing is, I actually do still have the install disk for 7 and the fucking CD keys and everything.
Yeah,
so.
But it's like losing your files is the bad part, so everything has to be backed up. That's what happens every time the new operating system comes out. It's like cloud storage hasn't really existed in the terabyte quantity quite yet. The internet isn't fast enough for that yet.
I am curious. Hold on, I'm actually gonna like clock in to see how much memory I need for all my crap that I intend to save. So like 70 gigs. Like then
That's not too bad.
And 50 of that is movies. So yeah, I could yeah. So like and I'm gonna be honest, like I'm kind of willing to let most of these movies go. Like there are a couple of internet videos where I'm like, nah, I want that because you can't download it anymore. But for the most part, like I can just re-download all this shit off iTunes. Like it's not that much effort to be like iTunes library, you know.
Oh, this iTunes makes it easy ish.
Yeah, like that's actually one thing that I was really happy about when moving from my old laptop to my current one was the fact that all my shit carries over when it comes to iTunes purchases. And I've actually really liked that on the iPad too, where like I booted up the iPad and then I synced it with my computer and my iTunes, boom, everything's there. So if I bookmark something on my phone, it's bookmarked on my iPad.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah, it's same thing when like playing games. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite things about the phone. But yeah, my experience in getting ready for Windows 10 has caused me to fuck up the Ethernet drivers for my computer. So
do you really need those though?
I mean,
it's just like when they told me I was getting my appendix removed. Like, do you really need it?
I mean, not really. I've used it once in the past 3 years, and it was when we were at that hotel. Because it was like, well, I have a hardline connection if I can't get Wi-Fi to work. Yeah. I don't know. Windows 10 though, man. Like, I hope that rumored performance boost is 100% true.
It's like, yeah, it sounds like magical fairy dust, but the thing is, you kind of understand that in the land of technical development and engineers, theory says 300, 400%. Reality says quite differently. In theory, your game should run super amazing. In practice,
Also, we should run through the specs of Ray's computer as long as
and then tell me how the water cooling worked out.
Water cooling.
Yeah.
All right, so it's an i7 3770K, 32 gigs of RAM at 1866, a 128 gig SSD with a 1 terabyte regular hard drive, and a 660 Ti. And water cooling was, Anthony, it is super easy to install. Why?
Oh, I'm sure, but I still wouldn't use it.
I don't
care how awesome water cooling is. I'm talking like it's just like 5 years. Oh, leak.
Here's the thing: if it was a traditional water cooling system, I'd agree with you. But like these things are, this was super easy to install. Like it looks pretty rock solid. There's not that much water in it, but still, like fuck, there goes my GPU because it's right below this thing. That said, it keeps it super cool. Like the inside of that PC is like.
Oh yeah, whenever you look at water cooling, it is like if you're looking for the ultimate in cooling performance, water is the way to go, for sure. And it's silent-ish.
But like, yeah, the hardest part was like mounting the fucking radiator on the top of the case. That was the hardest part of setting up liquid cooling.
Even that was still pretty simple.
Yeah, that was like line the holes up and use the screwdriver correctly.
Do it right, it's in.
Yeah. If not, do it again.
And it would have been super simple, like if that was like the first thing put in.
Yeah, like so I intend to do a very similar build to this next year. I'm using the same case. I'm using whatever the current version of that liquid cooling
Plastic glossy Stormtrooper white. I don't think that's the best color, if I'm honest.
I'm going with black.
Well, yes, but gloss.
Okay, fine, red.
I mean, I don't like. Well, I would prefer if you went with matte. It's great because gloss. Oh man, your beautiful machine is now tainted by nasty fingerprints covered all over it.
You know, I used to think that, but I'm at the point where like my fucking Xbox is gloss, my Wii U is gloss, but like every piece of fucking technology I own is gloss. I just don't care anymore. Like, fine, I'll wipe down my technology once a week. I'll live. I
don't even think gloss looks that pretty.
I think it looks good. I think it looks good.
I mean,
on black.
it's like if I have a system where it's like, well, I'm gonna put LED lights in it. Well, might as well start off by making the basic case look good too, because I mean, gloss plastic is just cheap.
But no, I'm gonna be doing a very similar build to this next year. I actually priced it out. If I go the same exact build but with a modern modern parts, basically, it ended up being like 1,600, which that wasn't bad. And then like a monitor and a keyboard and mouse bumped it up another like $300. So it's pricey, but like considering you're building from scratch and that particular rig, like outside the video card, you're not gonna need to upgrade anything of that in a while. Like,
oh yeah.
Like even like we put, what are the Witcher 3 specs again? Like I always forget
it's high, but Ray's computer should be fine, except he needs a graphics card update.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Like
but
my computer is quite similar to his, with a slightly lamer motherboard and a higher end graphics card. His processor is perfectly fine. It will have zero problems running The Witcher.
Yeah,
his graphics card, on the other hand, is probably going to cry a bit.
Well, considering it's the minimum requirements for that game, which when you think about that, that's fucking crazy. Like I looked at the Metal Gear 5 specs, which I'm getting that on console.
Metal Gear 5 is, your GPU, you don't need much. Your CPU, you need a lot.
Yeah, because it's a massive open world.
Yeah, well, it's not just the open world, because Skyrim is a massive open world, and that didn't need much processing power. No, it's because it's Metal Gear. You remember Metal Gear 4 when it had to do 2 screens at once?
Yeah, when
that's it's like, this is why you need processing power. They need to do all the physics for the 3 or 5 camera angles that are happening simultaneously on your screen.
Yeah, you're in the middle of a boss fight, and you look over to the right side of the screen, and like, oh my god, they're still fighting! Like, fuck yeah! Alright, so, but yeah, man, we did download some games onto his computer. I did a couple of benchmarks. I didn't do anything high-end. Like, I might install my Steam account on it and fuck around with some of the more taxing games.
See how it works.
Yeah, but like a 660 Ti should be more than enough. Like, Metal Gear comes out Metal Gear's out in like 20 days. Is that just crazy to anyone else? But anyway, yeah.
We waited from like 2012 to this moment.
Yeah, like your GPU, like the minimum specs for this thing, like, yeah, you're good. The processor is fucking crazy, but yeah, I generally think that once we get a GPU in that thing, it'll be sailing.
Yeah.
But we did do some benchmarks. We benchmarked Hearthstone.
Yes.
Yeah, that game.
Hearthstone on a 55-inch screen.
That game, Anthony, as you know, Hearthstone taxes all computers, correct?
Oh yes, it is so taxing.
Yeah. But no, we did. Sorry, tired. Did TF2, 60 frames, no problem. Actually had to turn on VSync because the frame rates were so high we were getting screen tearing.
Really?
That was funny. Heroes of the Storm looked beautiful.
Did it?
It looked great. Like, I tried showing it to you, but you were out cold. Yeah, so Heroes of the Storm, like that game, it looks great, but also it's not super taxing. Like, I don't like. Here's the thing: people always talk about like PC games look way better, and they do, but I never end up buying like those graphical showcase games. I like the most appealing games on PC to me are like, here's this weird indie game you can't get on any other platform. Here's shit Blizzard makes, but it's only PC.
What is it, like sound? That's like, not sound shapes. That one you showed me, like, with the roller coaster with music.
Oh, God, what was it?
You know what I'm talking about.
God. I think I do know what you're talking about.
It's like you have to jump over the things or side to the left or the right.
Oh, damn it. Oh well, I'll think of it there. But like Gone Home can run on most computers.
Yeah.
Borderlands 2 middle of the road. I kind of want you to try out Alan Wake on your machine because, like, you played it on the 360, right?
Very. Like, I made it to the town in the house, and that's where I left off.
You will not believe how much better it looks.
Really?
Like, the difference is night and day. And I actually kind of noticed that with Grand Theft Auto 4. Like, I loaded up Grand Theft Auto 4 with Ray on the PS3, and I'm like, I don't remember this looking this bad. And then I load up the PC version, I'm like, right.
PC.
Yeah.
Whoops the doodle.
So yeah. I don't know. But, like, the really interesting stuff for me is, like, Papers, Please, where you're playing Russian border control for the Soviet Union. Or Gone Home and shit like that. That, like, the amount of money you save PC, like, yes, the initial cost is high. Like, you are going to spend if you want a really good system to play games, you're spending a minimum of $800.
Mine only was $700. Is he saying I got a bad rig?
No, I'm saying that you got very lucky.
I got the deal of the century.
Wait, you're talking about a minimum budget to play games decently, right?
Yeah, like
you're looking at 1,000 because John had to like get like $800, and even then we had to like recycle an old i5 sitting around in my closet to make that $800 budget happen. So I would have to say like 1,000 because with $800, what are you getting? You're getting the Core i3 with a 750 Ti. That's not really what you call games ready. It'll barely get you by, but that's not going to last too long. So you probably need at least 1,000.
Yeah, like...
Because I looked it up, because I remember with John, it was like, okay, on a budget of $800, we could buy him all brand new parts for better upgradability, but he's going to have a slowish computer now. Or we build him the fastest computer we can right now, today. So it involved buying an older motherboard and recycling old parts.
Anthony, I want your opinion. Should I spend an extra, like, $200 to go to a 980? Or should I just go to do a 970?
It depends how long you are keeping this computer. If you're gonna end up just saying, "Oh, I want the latest Alienware 2 years from now," no. If you're gonna keep it for 4 or 5 years, yes.
I'm kind of at that point where like I really did love my laptop, but I'm tired of bottlenecks happening when I buy machines. And obviously, you can't fucking upgrade a laptop.
You're bottlenecking just by using a laptop anyways. If it's a desktop, like a desktop doesn't suffer a bottleneck quite like it used to be. Like, freaking my system, with all the upgrades that's in it, it's literally a brand new computer once I put Windows 10 on it. With the exception of its outdated motherboard. But other than that, it still runs like new. And there's really no point in me upgrading it for, like, literally the next 5 years, which is a shocking lifespan on this motherboard. But... it depends on a desktop. Is it $200? Depends. On a laptop, yes, because those things bottleneck all the time.
Yeah,
anyways. That's just how they are.
Yeah,
and that's the price you pay for smaller size.
The only bottleneck I've had on mine is the GPU. If they had that GPU adapter around when I bought mine, I absolutely would have got one. Like, because then I wouldn't be having this bottlenecking issue with games. But oh well. A little too early to the purchase, I guess. That happens with tech all the time. Yeah, like I'm leaning towards that 980 though, because like I just kind of want to build this thing and not have to do anything to it for like 3 years minimum. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like I said, it depends on the budget. It depends on how long you're keeping this thing, because, like, for, like, my system, the reason why I thought about why I went for a 970 instead of a 960 wasn't just because, oh, hey, let's see what's the biggest video card I can fit in here for shits and giggles. No, I actually thought, well, considering... I mean, that's one little stupid reason, because I was like, what's the most power I could cram into this stupid case? And I did it! And it's beautiful, but I won't do it again. Oh my goodness, it's a pain. Like, doing maintenance on the thing is a pain, I'll put it that way. But I thought, well, this computer's going to go for another 4 or 5 years. It feels it feels new still. That like it blows my mind how this computer, which is the first one I've ever built, has lasted this long. And I went for 970 because it's like, well, this is probably the last video card upgrade this system is going to ever have, because, you know, at this point, pretty much no point upgrading anything else on it.
All right, so I have my parts list here, and this includes monitor, keyboard, mouse, like just everything.
Okay, Core i7. What's the graphics card?
Okay.
Everything comes with a Core i7. Gotcha.
That you are correct. I went a 970. It's a Core i7 4790K. I went with a standard CPU cooler, like just a big fan. 250 gig.
Is it like one of those custom giant air coolers?
Yeah, it's one of those ones you slap on the.
Yeah, those would do you good.
Yeah,
I kind of regretted not getting one of those earlier, because your computer runs so much cooler and quieter when you get one of those.
That, and it's super cheap. It was $35.
Yeah, like, I got mine for $40. I'm like, why didn't I do this in the first place?
But yeah, okay, so I went with a standard DVD drive, raised case but black, a 2 terabyte, 7200 RPM regular hard drive, a 4 gig 970, an 800 watt power supply, 16 gigs of RAM running at 1866, an Asus Republic of Gamers Maximus motherboard, the Z970, 250 gig SSD, Razer keyboard, Razer mouse, all that good shit. Yeah, that all that to and 24-inch 144 hertz Asus monitor. And that all clocked in at 1850 pretty much. So, thoughts, Anthony?
I'm not exactly sure if I'm a big fan of the motherboard overkill.
You know, like I thought about.
Are you a professional overclocker who knows how to play with voltages and all that stuff?
I mean, you know,
because that's what that board is kind of designed for. Because I always look at, you know, with my system, when I looked at motherboards, I thought I'm never going to overclock, and I sure as hell don't want to tweak with voltages, because that's going to put my computer at risk of frying and burn out its lifespan. So I'm just going to go with the regular board.
Well,
because it's already blazing fast as it is. It's not like an overclock is going to make any difference on my system the way I use it. So that's kind of why it's like, do you really need an overkill motherboard? I mean, it looks pretty, I'll say that much, but it's like, well, yeah, of course I overclock, but on a desktop, do you really need that?
Well, I mean, like, it was so it was $200. That's, you know, so I mean, that's not the worst price, and I like having the option there.
An option you don't use is...
Well, I mean, I've overclocked on both my laptops, but on a desktop I realize that's probably not going to
I never really do overclocking, because these days, like, I mean, on a video card, maybe, but even then, like the thing I've learned about overclocking is there's going to be some sacrifice along the line. It's going to make more heat, it's not going to last as long, it's more likely to burn out, which actually did happen to me a long time ago when I didn't know what I was doing. It's like, you know, oh, well, it's like the only overclock I will accept is one from the factory. Like my old video card, it was like a 550 Ti with a slight clock bump, but it came from the factory and had a warranty. So, you know, I'm like, okay, I'll take that. But doing it myself, because, I mean, 50 megahertz, what does that get you? Quarter of a frame rate.
Yeah.
Okay, that quarter of a frame is... oh, so noticeable. That's how I kind of look at it. And on the CPU, freaking Core i7s are so fast these days, it's like you don't even need to do anything to them. You just get one and put it in, that's it. You don't need it. And by the time you do decide to overclock it so it doesn't feel old, it's already like 3 or 4 years into the future, and you might as well plan for a new system anyways. So that's my reasons for not really overclocking.
That's understandable. So my quick question is, how like I kind of went a little overkill on the motherboard, but I thought $200 for that thing was not a bad deal. Like I was looking at prices for other ones, they scaled like 100 to 150. So I was like,
yeah, that chipset's pretty high end, but I've learned that if you're looking to save money, you don't need the fanciest motherboard to play games. You just need something that has, like a basic motherboard can accomplish it just well. Like if you have an i7, like I just have like a regular consumer motherboard and it runs fine. I mean, the high-end motherboard actually probably does give you more features that would be deemed available. Like, for example, you can do 3 or 4 way SLI. That you kind of need a fancy motherboard for. You're also probably paying for better quality, which is a good thing, because if there's one thing cheap motherboards don't really do, it's cooling itself. Because on my motherboard, there's probably only 1 or 2 itsy-bitsy heat sinks for the chipset, whereas on the fancy stuff, you got some heat piping going around, which on Ray's motherboard, I looked at it, I was like, wow, this thing is nice.
Okay.
I probably, I wouldn't pay for an overclock, but I probably would pay for, higher quality and better cooling.
Okay, so
and more fan plugs. Fan plugs is good, because freaking John's motherboard only had one fan plug, and that was hella annoying.
So, quick question.
I had like, what, 8?
Dude, your computer has 1, 2, 3, 4.
It has 4 system fans and 1 CPU fan, I think.
It has 5 fans and then the radiator for the water cooling. So
that's why
you're good.
The fancier motherboard gives you more plugs for your cases. John's only has 1 for the CPU and 1 for the case, which is annoying because his case actually did come with 2 fans, so we can only use the back one. So yeah.
Anyway, but so do you think like 1850 good price for that build
for a 6-core processor? And what's the video card again?
A 970 4 gig.
One 970.
Yeah, a single 970. But also you gotta remember I'm getting the monitor, the keyboard, and the mouse with it too.
Okay, so it's a $1,500 computer.
Yeah.
I'd probably say go a little less on the CPU and more on the GPU.
Okay, so
like
47
a 4790, like a 4790 is a 6-core, right?
No, it's a quad. It's a quad.
Why not just get a 4700?
Because I was looking on Newegg and I could not find one. So that's why.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, I know. They probably
4770.
Yeah, I got a I'll look again, but it's a 4790 running at 4 gigahertz.
Cool money saving trick for people who don't overclock. If you don't overclock, do not waste your money on a K type processor, because on an Intel chip, the K at the end stands for unlocked processor, so you can overclock it. If you're someone like me who doesn't do that stuff, it's probably better for you to get a regular like 4770 instead of 4770K, because you're basically paying $20 just to tweak it. Is basically it.
Hold on. So that's 4790. Oh, hey, there's Nick's processor, 5820. Is there a way to sort down just i7s? Or is there a way to sort down just Intel and i7? There's 12 different i7s. 4790, 5820, 5930, 4790, 5960X 8-core, 4790, 4820. Here we go. 4770. I saved $25. I mean,
think about $25 in a Steam sale.
That's true. That's like 30 games.
Yes.
At least.
Besides, your computer isn't going to be that much slower.
Yeah.
Because you're just paying for like a 3 or 4% future proofing.
Yeah.
But, that's just me.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, if the price difference was like $100, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'll swap that and throw the money towards the 970. But I don't know, for a $1,500 machine,
It's not bad.
like this is pretty legit for the most part. Yeah, I got my SSD in there. It actually has a pretty good amount of space, 256 gigs. Um, I got, full tower case. Actually, you want to know what I would probably say if I were to go to a lower end processor? You want to know what I'd probably spend that money on? Going from a DVD drive to a Blu-ray drive. Like
that's Blu-ray drive is. I always kind of feel like it's iffy. I thought about Blu-ray drives, and I thought, do I have any Blu-ray disc I needed to? Oh, Blu-ray movies. Well, I already have a PS4 for that, so.
Yeah, I guess.
Blu-ray players everywhere.
Yeah, considering I have between Ray and I and Ray's new computer, we have, and you're getting an Xbox later this year, right?
Yeah.
So we'll have 2 Xboxes, 2 PS4s, 2 PS3s, his computer. So we'll have 7 Blu-ray players in this house.
I don't think that's enough. We need one in the bathroom too.
A portable Blu-ray player for the toilet.
Yeah.
All right,
a PSB.
Yeah. All right, we'll put a PS3 and a little monitor in the toilet.
10-inch screen.
Yep. We'll put it where the mirror is.
Yep.
Just really reflective, so it doubles as the bathroom mirror.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway. In other PC gaming news, World of Warcraft, Anthony.
Yes, there's a new expansion coming.
I was going to say there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is there's a new expansion. It is called Legion, and it looks pretty hype.
Because you played Burning Crusade.
That's, like
for me, I just kind of feel like you would get stoked for this if you ran Blackrock Temple once, at least once.
Yeah, even if you ran it later.
To be fair, I had never done it, and this looks hype.
The problem is that Blizzard can make any commercial look hype. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's like I kind of look at it and it's like, okay, you get to go to Old Outland. Oh, that didn't exactly make World of Warcraft the biggest hype thing in history. Okay, let's go back and redo Burning Crusade.
I don't think it's Burning Crusade because you're not going to Outland.
I know, but it's still the Burning Legion.
Yeah.
And you still see Illidan. Likely. Because no one ever dies in that game. Because let's be honest here, in the world of Azeroth, you can't have world peace. You have to keep something to keep these 15 million adventurers, sorry, not adventurers, whatever you call them, heroes employed somehow. So you don't really kill Illidan, you just knocked him out for a couple years, okay, come back and keep making you money.
All right,
because can you imagine the unemployment line if all the bad guys had been taken care of?
All right, well, so...
But anyways, yes, there's a new expansion. It's called Legion. So far, they just basically gave a short feature video and a short teaser cinematic.
And they gave out some other details on their site. So I'll go through the bullet points and then address some of the stuff they've kind of talked about in depth. New continent, the Broken Isles. New class, the Demon Hunter. That
feels really overdue.
I don't know if it's scythes or claws.
Dude, like Demon Hunters versus Death Knights. That sounds like the most amazing thing ever.
They have like polymorph. They transform into things, like into hell mode.
Artifacts. So artifacts are every class gets a customizable weapon. That's that's sort of similar. That's basically a legendary of sorts that like levels up with you. So like over the course of playing, you can customize it to look different. So like for instance, paladins get Ashbringer. They can make it look like a ton of different ways. Hunters get Hunters get Thos Dora, which is a bow. Mages get the Great Staff of the First Guardian of Tirishfal, so on and so forth. And you get this towards the beginning of the expansion, and like you level up that weapon and you turn it. Eventually, by the end of the expansion, it's the legendary of the expansion. Um.
Kinda,
Anyway.
actually, I'm interested in the weapon thing until internet decides to run a bunch of numbers in theory to say, actually, this is the proper way to lever your pellet.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you can still customize the looks of the weapon.
That's still pretty cool.
I was watching in the trailer, and they turned Ashbreaker
Flaming pink sword.
Yeah, they did.
Flaming pink sword. Illidan defeated by flaming pink sword.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Class-specific order halls and followers. So instead of garrisons, there are these thing called class halls, where like it's only your class goes there, and like you hang out, and you have followers, and you can send them on missions. It's very similar to garrisons.
So okay, that sounds half like a Final Fantasy 14 feature. They added followers, which okay.
And every class is going to have its own quest for its specific weapon. So, like, for instance, Death Knights have to go to Icecrown Citadel and pick up the remains of Frostborn. And, like, Shamans have to go to the Maelstrom and, like, pick up pieces of Doomhammer and, like,
yeah, that sounds like a Final Fantasy 14 thing, too, because every class or every job in that game had its own mini quest line as you leveled.
Yeah,
which I think is a good idea. I'm like, I understand like a lot of people, and I'm sort of suggesting that I wouldn't say copied, but you took inspiration of the idea from another game. But honestly, I don't think it's a bad idea because it actually makes playing your class feel somewhat special.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not on the same leveling path as every other frickin' person on the planet. Like, like picking a race and saying, you're a night elf. Go enjoy the stupid forest for the first 10 levels. You're a Worgen. See how screwed up your city has been. Oh, hey, you're a blood elf. Well, enjoy your pristine city and then look at your plague lands. Like, stuff like that is pretty awesome. And the fact that you can do it with your class, you're like, oh, this is why being a hunter is awesome.
Back in Vanilla WoW and Burning Crusade, there were class-specific quests. Like, Paladins, you didn't get your resurrection spell until you did a quest at, like, level 12.
Really?
So you couldn't revive people until you did this quest. Like, Warriors had this weapon quest that it was like, once you got this weapon, you didn't need to upgrade until you were, like, level 53. It was ridiculous.
Damn.
And that quest, you usually finished it at, like, level 40. Like, it covered 13 levels. New world bosses,
Obvi.
New level cap raised to 110. Revamped PvP progression system. Improved transmog system. Improved social features. A character boost immediately to 100. So, same thing as Draenor, where like, hey...
So I could skip Draenor completely.
Yeah, if you want to, Anthony.
I mean, at this point, I probably would, because I don't have the time to go through all that.
Okay, let me tell you about Warlords of Draenor. I think the content that is in Warlords of Draenor is awesome, but there is not nearly enough of it. I really enjoyed Warlords. It is the actual gameplay and look of Warlords is awesome. The problem is, I played that game casually. I'm going to play a couple hours each day. And I got through the first raid tier completely fine.
Yeah.
And I probably could have gotten through the second and third. So if I'm doing that, the hardcore players are done and bored right now. Which sucks, because there just need to be more of it. Another thing that they added that I was reading up on is spec-specific quests. So they're reworking talent trees again in a not drastically, but in a way it's like, okay, you're spec'd into Prot, we're gonna send you on a quest for Prot warriors to get the new Prot warrior abilities and stuff like that. Hello?
Anthony?
Yes, I'm here.
It looks really cool. Like, Ray, you're going to be getting into WoW for the first time soon.
Yes, you're buying it for me and forcing me to play.
Yes, I am. We'll get John on. That'll be great. Like not Macaluso, our other friend John.
Yeah, there's lots of them.
Yes. Hello, John. Hello, John.
Hello, John Smith.
You realize that the number one name that came up during the interviews, it was like maybe 4 or 5 Johns that got interviewed at E3.
John always interviewing
and
John.
We had a John for a interviewer.
So I'm glad that we got someone different at Atlas than their normal PR guy, because their normal PR frontman is named John Harden. So I was just like, are you serious? But yeah, it's getting a graphics engine upgrade again. So
Well, it has to, yes.
yeah, yay. They've shown so the Broken Isles was like when their original world separated. The Broken Isles are kind of like what was sunk beneath the sea, or a lot of it was. And so far they've talked a little bit about the lore. There's Stormheim, which, do you remember the Valkyr up in Northrend, like those big Viking people that were the precursors to humans? Like, yeah, that's their origin area, and you get to find out about them. Azuna is an old school night elf area. Valshara, they haven't said much about. It's going to be pretty Naga heavy, and same with the Broken Shore. And it's looking like, they haven't said yet, but according to the map, the capital is a neutral city, similar to Northrend and similar to Wrath and Burning Crusade, and it looks like it's the floating city of Dalaran again. So,
okay.
Toy train sets, Joe. You buy those.
Chugga chugga choo choo.
Yeah, I have a feeling, Ray, you're gonna be like really amused by like toys and WoW. Because you can buy toys that are just literally, they have served no purpose but to fuck around. Like, you can buy toy train sets and, like, in the middle of a raid, set it down, just a little toy train set going in circles in the middle of a boss fight.
I would die so quick, I just start staring at it like, choo-choo. Oh, the slime got me.
One of my favorites is there's these ones that transform you into, like, famous characters from the game. And it's like, so, and everyone gets these because they're garrisons. So, like, everyone gets them just by doing their garrison stuff. So, like, you'll be in a raid with 25 people, and it's like, Gammon will save us. Gammon will save us. It's like, it's 25 cowmen. All with giant axes. Right. Same thing with Mill. Yeah, they're doing some cool things with this. Hopefully it slows Warcraft's decline in subs, because Warlords of Draenor, in Mist of Pandaria, they got down to about 6.5 million subscribers.
Really?
But when Warlords came out, they boosted all the way back up to 10.5. Right now,
that was a temporary spike, or was it like that sustained?
That stayed until around February, and it started to decline, in which it dropped to around the 8s. And right now, we have just experienced the first time World of Warcraft has gone back to vanilla Warcraft numbers.
Which is
5.8 million.
Ooh.
Ooh, damn.
That hurts. I mean, that's kind of a little worrying, because you just kind of like look around the corner and Square Enix claims we've got 4.5 million players on Final Fantasy 14. And obviously every time they put a number like that, I'm like, is that active subscriptions, or is that just the total number of people who signed up for accounts? I'm not really sure, but judging from the fact that in the past month or so, every time I try to log in, I get put into like a small queue. I'm like, okay, maybe there is a lot of people on it, and the server I'm on isn't even that big. So, yeah.
I think part of it is, like we've said in the past, Warcraft is getting older, and some people are getting tired, or they have kids now, or like the reason I don't play as much is, like, I got shit to take care of, man.
I got work.
Like, I got work. I got TGA. I got TGA and a full-time job.
Oh man, you should like.
I gotta work out to be less fat.
When I look at the party finder thing, group finder, whatever, You'll be surprised some of the raid schedules people shove on there. That's like, holy crap. 4 or 5 days a week, 3 or 4 hours a night. It's like, how do you have time to do this if you're an adult? You don't.
And I think another problem that they had was the fact that you have, back in Wrath of the Lich King, like most people consider Wrath the high point of WoW because it was still gaining subscribers, and it was hard and challenging, but still, like, if you were a casual player, you could still progress and get epics and do stuff. And I think that the problem with the current game now is like you don't have the snowflake effect anymore, as Anthony and I call it.
Snowflake?
Yes.
I don't remember this.
I'm a special little snowflake. I have this armor from this thing. I look badass. You know.
I'm meek in my own way.
Yeah, and like you would play Wrath of the Lich King, and you'd be in town, and you'd see someone with like the shield from ICC, and you're like, oh dude, that looks awesome. Where'd you get that? It's like ICC third boss, and then you'd want to like progress to go raid. Like now, raiding, at least the easy mode, is just given to you pretty much when you hit cap, and like you can get a certain form of epics. Like I think that it's really hard to draw a line between like accessible and open to everyone, and still like engaging and interesting. Like I think that there should be a raid finder and an easy mode for that shit, but I think that it needs to be cut into like, it needs to be like, all right, you can only get blues from this, and all the gear kind of looks just okay. But
I feel like that's kind of the nightmare you face as an MMO developer, because you're gonna have like that top 5% just endlessly complaining how you casualize your game for the peasants, because the peasants pay your bills, instead of serving the true fan base that is the top 5% of ultra raiders who play this game for a living.
I mean,
like, yeah. Like stuff like that. Just like I'm just like. Ever since this expansion came out for FF14, I just noticed the asshole factor has kind of shot up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Everyone apparently is now riding on this dickish train of, oh my goodness, I just want to farm this. You guys suck, rage quit. I'm just like, what the heck just happened? Because holy crap, it used to be those kinds of people just spent the rest of their days just doing freaking the hardest raid where you only get like 1 drop a week. But I guess that just happens in every game. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like.
But yeah, it's like a really hard thing because yeah, you kind of have to please the people who are like please the paladins of the world. And then, but you also have to kind of like, they're like people like me and you and everyone else. It's like, we just play this in our spare time. We don't have the time to make this a full-time job. So apparently the solution in Final Fantasy XIV is, here's an easy mode, so that way you can actually see the story of it. And then there's the Savage mode, which is the actual really, really hard stuff. Which is basically like the easy mode but turned way up. Which, as opposed to what they did in the past, which was the raid was its own special thing and there was no easy mode, so you kind of had to get really good and spend a lot of time to see it and get stuff from it.
So, I have those other details about the expansion. I pulled them up. So the Broken Isles is a forgotten land that used to be a Night Elf civilization, but was destroyed.
Everything is a forgotten land on Azeroth.
The continent is a graveyard. There's... Oh! Okay, that's the Tomb of Sargeras from Warcraft 3. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. There's going to be a Demon Hunter class. There's only going to be 2 specs. Havoc for DPS, Vengeance for tanking. It's very similar to the suicide mission. Dalaran is in fact the capital again.
I'm just trying to figure out I just imagine it being really comical, them just pushing a giant island city across the sky
with magic. Yeah,
with magic. It must be a hilarious sight to just watch this island just go puffing along across the sky.
But yeah, they talk about the Valshara, where you'll enter the Emerald Nightmare and stop it from invading your world. Stormheim, where you uncover the fate of the Vicruel who left Northrend. Azuna, where you race Queen Ashara to get control of the Pillar of Creation. High Mountain, where you'll visit the lair of Neltharion, Deathwing's last son, and where a new race of elves have lived undisturbed for 10,000 years. 36 new artifacts, one available for each specialization. Class orders, new dungeons. And yeah, that's pretty much it from this stuff. The beta will kick off later this year. Full release is looking like next year. So, moving from Warcraft to Dota.
Ooh.
The International is going on. It is the International Dota Championships. The International 5. It is the 5th one. And there is a prize pool of $17.5 million.
Jeez.
Guys, we need to get really good at Dota.
Yeah, we do.
We need to get really, really good at Dota.
Okay, Bros, I'll see you in the NFL.
Yep, that damn straight.
Well, that's what it's like at this point, right?
It's
like us trying to get into the NFL, minus the age problem.
That's crazy, dude. That is just nuts.
I'm not joking. Like I said, it's just like right when Dota started having a bigger prize pool than just about every golf tournament out there, just kind of blew my mind away. I don't know how they split up the money. I don't know how much. I don't know if the sponsor takes some of the money. I don't even know how esports teams work after they achieve top goals. But 17 million.
They go retire and do cocaine for hours at a time.
And then become a broke athlete. Gotcha.
Yep. It's that ESPN documentary we watched about athletes who go broke.
It's shocking the number of athletes that go broke.
Because they're fucking stupid.
They're just like, I got all the money.
It's like, think about it. Like, look at you guys right now. Look at me right now. Look at us right now. Okay, imagine if all of a sudden, we were talented enough to the point where, all of a sudden, bam, here's $5 million in 1 year. How do you not think, oh man, I just made $5 million in a year at the age of 22, 24? You just what do you do with all this money? You don't really think about what's gonna happen when you're 50. You just think, oh my goodness, I've just got out of school and I'm making $5 million already.
The thing you need to realize though is the average pro athlete career is 3 to 4 years. And it can end at any time. So that money, you need to
you could bust your knee for good for life.
Yeah, go talk to Terrell Davis about that.
Spinal injury, Johnny Knox, Chicago Bears. Guy was a pretty good receiver, and he was actually a pretty good return man along with Devin Hester, so that was pretty awesome. Until he had a spinal injury, which knocked him out of the game for good. And that sucked.
Yeah.
And he was only in the league for only 5 years? 6 years?
Yeah, I think about if I got that kind of contract today where I'm making $5 million and I'm would I blow some of it on unnecessary shit? Yeah, probably. I'd be driving
lying if you didn't.
Yeah, I'd be I'd buy my mom a house probably. I'd buy
That's what every athlete does. Bronson.
Yeah, they get rid of their parents.
Yeah, exactly.
They always treat the mom, but they never think of the dad.
Well, no, that's because my dad's dead.
Well, okay, yes, but oh man.
Yeah. Sad.
I'm talking. Well, assuming both parents alive, they're always talking about the mom.
Yeah, I know. That's because
unless we're gonna get into some really crazy theories.
Yeah,
damn mom.
Yeah, in those situations, dads aren't always around. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, so you know the mama whoops you harder than the dad.
That too, like
Mama needs a house.
Yeah.
Daddy's fine staying where he is to get away from mama.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got cable. Buy him the DirecTV NFL package so he can watch your games.
He's good.
He's happy.
He's good in his 1-bedroom apartment. Yep.
But yeah,
no.
it's like, yeah, it's just like you're gonna be a broke athlete. So you think about it, you're young and you're at a young age. Like most people, they take like take forever to make a lot of money. And here you are, just out of school, and wha-bam, you just made millions. You just defeated that college graduate just because you got good at a game, and wha-bam, you got like a couple $1,000,000. Hooray! What would you do with that million? Like, it's hard not to think about, oh man, I just got $2 million. What do I do with it?
I think
that's where the whole starts.
Like that, and also like as that documentary said, like they invest their money, which good, you're supposed to do that.
You invest your money in really stupid things.
Stupid things, yeah.
Like some of the things I hear in that show sound incredibly lame. I'm just like, why would you think this even exists? Like, they would say stuff like, "We're gonna grow the biggest tomatoes in the world," and oh man.
Yeah. I think about if I was in that position, like I would absolutely buy my mom a house. Like I'd get
You could
myself...
buy a better car, but it doesn't have to be a crazy car.
You could rebuy you could rebuy the
Like
Warhawk.
for you, Bronson, I could see you just going to a dealership and say, you know what, with $5 million, I would spend $35,000 on a V8 Charger. No problem. See, $35,000 is not bad for a car, considering, you know.
Yeah.
With $5 million, you could have gone out and just bought a Lambo, but no. You could just buy a Charger or a Challenger.
Yeah, get a V8 Charger, just drive that around town, you know, buy myself a decent house.
Like you're saying, you wouldn't rebuy the Warthog and fix it up.
I might do that. That would cost like what, $3,000?
Yeah, pimp my ride style.
Complete restoration job.
Yeah.
Get DMX and Coolio to come fix it up.
It'd be a complete restoration job except for the suspension. We'd leave that fucked.
2 parts everywhere. Old suspension.
You would be better off just buying a good used Warhawk than restoring that thing.
Yeah,
because you can't just magically fix body rust. I'll put it that way.
I know. That was part of the magic of the Warthog.
Yeah,
why not just why not just buy a Jeep and jump it?
The Warthog was like magical. Like there were holes rusting through the roof, so when it rained, like if you were sitting on the passenger spot, the back seat, you'd get wet.
There was holes from when
holes
females punched through your roof.
Yeah, holes when tiny little girls just like how like Panda's like 5'4", 130.
Yeah.
You know, and just like presses a hole through the rusting roof.
Not even like putting force into it, just kind of just
pressing it.
Yeah, and then just crack.
You know, and yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, like I think like I would sit on a lot of that money. Like I would
I would lay on it like fucking that Breaking Bad scene, just like I gotta
I gotta do it. I gotta do it.
Just Mexico. That's all I'm saying. Like you'd be like Magic Johnson sleeping on his money, curing AIDS.
That's how do you cure AIDS? You roll in money.
Rolling Benjamins. For hours.
Anyway, that's about all the PC news we have for this month. Or not this month, but this week.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some good PC news.
Oh, okay.
Okay, small little thing. Hey, if you own a PC and you really think Metal Gear should be on a PC, well, good news for you, the game is going to come out on the same day as the consoles.
Cool.
Great. You don't have to wait like most other PC games.
You can imported from I don't know. You can get the prettier version of that game. Like that's
they freaking you remember when they showed that game at the Xbox press conference, Xbox One press conference in the first year?
I remember when they showed it.
I thought it was CG, and then they started panning the camera, and I thought, wait a minute, that's not CG, and that was on an Xbox One.
Like I remember when they first previewed that game at PAX 2012. Like that was the reveal of Metal Gear for the 25th anniversary, And Quinn and I were in the audience. They're like, "This is totally running on a PS3 and Xbox 360," and just like I'm saying, they're like, "Bullshit! No way that is true! I do not believe this in any sort."
Kind of like the 2015.
Yeah, it's the.
But when is it 2015?
Anyway, that's it for the. But good on good for PC gamers. Metal Gear's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not another.
Because after this
Batman
game, Konami is
incident.
going to be like, F it, casinos.
Fuck it, casinos, peace. We're out.
All the
Money.
pachinko machines.
Yep. Yep. Anyway. That's it for the raid this week. Please follow us on Twitter at The Gamer Access. We are on Facebook, thegameraccess.com, and we're on twitch.tv/thegameraccess. If you want to watch the Super Senpai Bros, we are on Sunday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 6 to 8. And then on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, it is the Shiitakes from 7 to 9. So we got all your streaming needs. If you feel the need, please donate. It helps buy new equipment. It helps keep us fed so we can continue to do this.
It helps feed the intern.
We don't feed him. Don't.
You give me.
Yeah, we don't feed you, Ray.
You give me like the rinds to fruit.
Yeah, that's true.
You get the Chinese food leftovers though.
I get the box to the pizzas.
Yeah, he survives off the pizza grease. Sucks the box.
Yeah, I'm like hit it like it's an ice cream cone.
All right. Well, anyway, if you please go on Twitch, watch our streams. Donations always appreciated. If you improve, you donated, we'll totally give you a shout out.
Yeah, you get all the hype.
Yeah. And if you're Free State guy,
yeah,
we miss you. The Super Senpai Bros.
Senpai Bros are shouting out to Free State guy. Please come back.
We remember you from GTA. We remember you from Last of Us.
You were very noticed.
You were very noticed, Free State guy. Please come back. All right. Well, anyway, Anthony, this post Saturday, right?
Friday. Saturday.
Yeah. Okay, it's the raid. All right. Well, cool. We'll see y'all next Saturday, and you have an excellent week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, all.
We love you.